Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
I said welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We will come back.
I am, for the first time here, featuring. So you are back.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Joining me, right? Joining me. Now, you're joining my friend too. This is one of my closest friends. This is my best friend. This is my brother. This is Kevin. He likes to go by Elliot nowadays. I don't know why. Today, what we're doing is review. I wanted to do review videos and stuff like that, but today I got a little bit more of an inspiration. You look like you're in the dark side, bro. Look, so like just look. I know we don't talk like we don't talk about Star Wars, right? He knew he crossed the line when he talked about Star Wars.
I did.
But if you see the background, you can see Vader, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like it's you.
Yeah.
So you're the bad guy here.
I'm Kylo
Ken?
Kylo Ren.
How do you feel? Like, this is an interview section, right?
All
How do you feel being in a room full of Star Wars?
I feel okay. I mean, I find comfort in other, non-Star Wars items, and that's what I focus on, when I'm like, oh, Star Wars. I'm just kidding.
He's not kidding.
It's a joke, guys.
It's not a joke.
It is a joke.
If you're a Star Wars fan, you can like write comments and be like, dude, he could go to hell. I'm just kidding. Today, we're going to review the movie Sinners. We just went to go watch it. Let's do initial thoughts real quick. Right?
Okay.
All right.
At first, I mean, I like it very much. So I like that of vampires. And so, but you don't really, I mean, I guess if they hadn't put that out, it would have been interesting, because it doesn't make the appearance till kind of,
later in the film.
Yeah, probably like 1/3 in or something, So like at first you could just be thinking like, hey, maybe this is, something about, I don't know, Jim Crow or something, back in the days, about society. But then it turns out to be a vampire movie, and that's pretty awesome. So I liked it a lot. I don't know if scoring goes in initial thoughts, but
yeah, you should.
All right, yeah, I say a 9 out of 10, 9
Okay.
out of 10,
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't watched a lot of vampire movies, but I would say, this is up there, and it's, I think, original content, so that gives it extra, I think.
I would say Ryan Coogler. He's the one who did the Creed movies, and he did the Black Panther movies too. And I love Ryan Coogler. He's really good, and he works really well with Michael B. Jordan.
I was gonna say, okay, that makes sense, that connection. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So Michael B. Jordan, he's one of my favorite actors right now. So yeah, he did. I thought that I give it the same rating, a 9 out of 10. There's a few questions that I have, but we'll get into the spoilers on that. Yeah. But overall, this movie actually over-delivered, because when I first saw this, and like I saw this trailer in theaters, and I was just like, I don't know. It was like a short one. It was like a teaser thing. And then I didn't care. And then when I watched the initial trailer, I'm like, yo, this is actually better than I thought it was. And I was like, it's interesting. It seems like it's going to be like, it might be a goofy movie, but it's not goofy at all. And like I said in the thing, I was like, I didn't know it was two brothers. Because it's two brothers, that carry this movie.
Very much, yeah, true. I forgot about that.
The brothers?
Yeah, well, no.
I forgot about the brothers.
Like to talk about the brothers, because Michael Jordan plays both of them.
Michael B. Jordan.
Not
the basketball player, right? Not to get confused with Michael Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. There's two different ones. There's a B and there's an A.
Whoops. Yeah. Kind of like Kobe, B, and Bryant, but no, I'm just kidding.
This dude. But yeah, so like overall, I think we agree that the movie was good. It was good. It was original. It was fresh. It was a fresh take on vampires. But I kind of feel like they leave it open for like, other things.
True. It did have a mid-credit scene, right? Yeah. So like, maybe they can.
Oh, but in the beginning, because he made it to the theater late. He's always late. He's always running late. But in the beginning, you didn't see the part where they were like, they have these like carvings and stuff like this, like stories of like these creatures that show up because like they're driven in by like music and stuff like that, which was really cool. I'm sorry, I'm spoiling a little bit, but it's just the beginning. I think you missed a big part. Okay. Because they were like, this vampire character shows up, and then you don't see him until later on, and you're like, oh, this is intriguing. What is happening right here? You don't understand. But like the whole concept of the vampire thing, I wish, like you said, they didn't really tease it I think in the later, in the later trailers, they did start to tease more of a vampire. But like, yeah, it would have been really intriguing without having that element put in there. But I really like the fresh take on it. But in spoilers, I'll get into what the whole beginning was, because he missed like first 10 minutes maybe. It wasn't that much.
Not 15, but yeah.
It wasn't too bad. Yeah. It's like the rest I kind of recap. So initially, I think you should go watch it again. 9 out of 10, right, for both. Right,
I definitely agree. Yeah.
9 out of 10. Michael B. Jordan. Oh, the actor, the one who sang, freaking great, man. He has a great voice. If that's really him singing, his name is Miles Canton, bro. Like I'm like he could be a musician forever. Like so he don't need to be an actor.
Like Sammy the.
Yes.
Okay,
Is it Sammy?
Miles Colton, Sammy, yeah.
Yeah, that's him. It is Sammy. I don't know why I kept saying I don't know. I kept thinking they were saying like Shami or something like that. Like,
maybe, yeah. I mean, they had that.
no, they said Sammy right there though. So.
Yeah, but they could have pronounced it differently.
You're right. Maybe I should stop because it's a different time. This takes place in a plantation, so you know. So yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I didn't understand some of the dialogue, you know, because
it makes sense. It makes sense. But anyways, let's get into the spoiler part. I'm gonna do a spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
You have been warned. The beginning, like they had the carvings and stuff like that, but they were like telling this folklore of like how music attracts like these evil entities and stuff like that, which brings it back to like the religious side of things. Like if you're in, you know, we grew up in church and stuff like that, so in our church they were like, you listen to this music is gonna bring bad spirits and stuff like that. So this kind of piggybacks off that, and I love that. So the part you missed was where they show up, right? You didn't see when they bought the place.
No.
A part that you missed was when they show up. It's two brothers. They're twin brothers, played by Michael B. Jordan, which is great. They come from Chicago. They have like big money now, and they don't explain why until later on, like how they got this money. But they came back to Mississippi, right? It takes place in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And they come back to an old town that they're from, and everybody knows them, and they're like afraid of them because they're like war heroes and stuff like that, war vets, and they're like, oh, let's not mess with these guys. But they buy this, what would you call it?
Barn,
like a barn, yeah.
Yeah.
From this like white dude who is, you know, affiliated with the wrong people, you know, the people with the pointy hats, the white cloths, yeah. So he bought it from this guy, and the guy was like, you know, he didn't think they had the money or whatever, and they threw the money in their face or whatever. So yeah, from there they started like, did you see the part where they started like recruiting like the musicians and stuff?
Yes.
All right. So you pretty much caught off from there, because like from there, like it was only that they were just like saying who these two guys were, that they come from. They're big shots in Chicago. Now they came down. They were gangsters, in other words, you know, because of war and whatever. But they came back to a town where they felt like they were never ran out of. Well, they were ran out of, but they just like came back and they were like, this is our town. We're going to stick here. There's a quote that he said, he was like, it's easier to deal with the devil. It goes along this line. It's easier to deal with the devil we already know, you know? And it was like them coming back to their town and whatnot and putting up with that. So the vampire like shows up and he's running away from Native Americans, which was so great. What'd you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be more of the story. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, they're going to connect it to, like, they're connected to spirits, you know, because...
well, they kind of are, because, you know, the Native Americans are like, these are really bad people, like, or this guy's...
Right, but I thought that they would, like, come back after, because they just showed up that once, and then I thought they were going to, like, you know, maybe help with the final like fight, you know, like rescue, you know, or assist in some way, like have some type of amulet that's gonna be like, oh, this is what's gonna either protect you, or this is the way to, you know, kill them or something like that. But you know, they don't make that appearance again, and it makes sense, you know, that I guess they explain it that I guess they don't want to do that hunting at night, right? Because and so
he's more powerful.
Yeah, but so then I'm like, oh well, then maybe they would reappear, you know, in the day and be like, oh, you guys took care of them, great, you know, but they never appeared again. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I mean,
yeah, like you're right. I didn't even think about that. Like I just liked the idea that they were there, and I was like, oh, because they know they try to drive these spirits out, or they try to kill him. But it seemed like it was just one guy. They probably killed a tribe of him.
You know what that reminded me? I'm sorry that I had to bring this up, but like the Native American type of thing with vampires with
what?
With Twilight. You know that
This is not Twilight, guys. This is not Twilight.
No, this is not.
All right, so if you think this is gonna be one of those fangirls things, no, we're not. No, we're not fangirls. He's a fangirl. I'm not.
No.
Just kidding. It's not one of those like teen movies or whatever.
No, yeah, but so that just reminded me of that. You know, like
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
like, that's why you kept saying the whole Edward Cullen and stuff. Like the whole time he was like, say my name. I'm like, no, he didn't say that, but I'm just saying, imagine you would have been like, say my name.
I know what you are.
See it. Out loud.
say it.
Vampire.
These vampires didn't have a diamond skin or whatever.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Yeah.
No, these vampires.
These were the regular, vampires that you know.
They had some weird shit coming out of their mouths though when they were drooling. You saw when they were drooling.
Yeah.
I was like, what the. That?
Like an animal salivating, it's like.
Yeah, but it didn't look like that. It looked like something else. Like they had rabies or something.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. It started off with the two brothers, right? And they were like recruiting people to come, and they were like using the community that they come from to make their like club. Because we'd even say that it was a club, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a club. It's a juke club.
Juke. Yep, that's what they call it.
A juke club. So yeah, it's like a bar. It's like a whatever. But this was only for their people, like black people. It wasn't made for anybody else or whatever. So it was gonna be exclusive for people who are working in the plantation and stuff like that, which is awesome. So they find themselves in trouble, I guess, with some people, right? Like with it's not trouble necessarily, because like they go into the no, they actually didn't have no trouble. It was just those two guys who tried to rob them, but they ended up like knowing who they were. Remember, he shot one in the ass and he shot the other one in the leg.
Did I miss that? Shot one.
You didn't see that part?
Was that at the beginning?
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, where am I at? Because I'm like, that wasn't the beginning. Did you see the little girl? She honked the horn. If you don't remember that, because that was like a big scene where he recruited the Asians.
Yes.
You saw where he recruited the Asians? Like he told them to come with him?
Mm-hmm.
So you should have seen that part where he shot the guy in the ass. Because he told her to make a sign. You saw that part? He was like, can you make a sign for us? You probably showed up like right there, like around that part.
Okay.
Never mind. So you did miss that part. So when he went his friend. And like the people in my audience, they laughed when they heard the accent of the Chinese guy. Because he sounded like he was from there, because he had like that accent, and I was shocked too. I was like, "What?" I was like, they're gonna have like a, I get it, Ryan Coogler. I know what you're doing, bro. It was funny though. Like you caught us off guard. I felt like you caught me off guard because the people in my theater, they laughed when they heard this accent and the wife's accent too. But anyways, yeah, like I swear, like right before they got in, he like shot them too because they were trying to steal from him. Or whatever. Oh, and then you saw he was recruiting the guy with the harmonica.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So yeah, they were recruiting people. They didn't really have trouble. No. Oh, Haley Steinfeld. That's the thing. When she showed up, it seemed like there was going to be some kind of trouble there.
Right. Yeah, because he didn't want to be associated, or like for people to know that they were associated because of the racial divide at that time. Like that. They could go after him or her.
Yeah. It was mostly her because he said at the end, he was like, I didn't want, because then they were going to kill you. And he's like, whoever killed you, I'll come back for you.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It's good because they have like love elements here, right? They
both had a love element.
With Smoke, with his girl, she's Haitian or something. Because she does spiritual stuff. Like she does like some kind of.
Oh, yeah. Well, they didn't say she was Haitian, but.
I could have sworn. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
No, they?
She was just spiritual stuff.
Yeah, she was just because she was the one that knew how to kill the vampires.
Yeah. But she knew because like when they came, she knew something was up.
Yep.
She felt it, and that was so cool. Because so the movie takes place right about this like music, right? We're going back to the music thing where it's like these evil spirits are attracted to the music, and it's this one kid. He's the preacher boy. Sammy.
Yep. Sammy.
Preacher boy, and his dad kept telling him like, "Don't go, don't do this. You're gonna bring bad spirits," and that's exactly what happened. Bad spirits showed up, and they even said it like when they went after him, like they had the whole showdown and whatnot, and then Haley Steinfeld tried to like make peace with the.
She did not.
She did. She didn't make peace. She made it worse.
Yeah,
I even said
it's her fault. Actually,
it is. Yo, I said it in the trailer, in the reaction. I was like, it's her fault. I was like, she's gonna turn him into and it's exactly that. She turned him into the vampire.
She did,
and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
I mean, at first, I thought that there was gonna be some more people that ended up surviving, but it ended up being that. Yeah, not a lot of people survived.
Yeah.
Oh wait, spoiler, right? So yeah, only one person survived.
Yeah, only one person technically survived from all that. Technically, actually, 3 people survived.
Well, but no, because they're dead.
Yeah, but they still survived.
They are
technically. They
are
unalive.
unalive characters.
Yeah, but still, they're still there.
They died. So how did they survive?
Bro.
They resurrected.
Basically, he's just trying not to like spoil it completely, but like the ending. Okay, so this is one thing I really liked about the movie. Like, we're gonna talk about like what we didn't really like. Overall, the movie was good, but the parts that I this is interesting. So they were ending the story, and I was like, oh, it's good. It ends there, and then they kept going, and I was like, okay, hopefully that's it. And I'm like, it's still good. It's still good. And then they go again, and I'm like, no way. They're gonna keep. How long they're gonna go with this? Like, I was like, please don't go too far.
Yeah, like make it. Yeah, like mess it up type of thing. Yeah.
But they ended. I thought it was great.
Yeah, because it closed. Every time they, like, it ended and then it came. And they did like it closed another element.
Yeah.
That so it's like okay, it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about like our dislike. Why did we rank it a 9.10 instead of a 10 out of 10? I think this movie could have been a 10 out of 10. To be honest, like it's, I really would go back and rewatch this, but
for sure. I think we need to watch it again to see that one thing.
Yes, we might have missed it.
That we missed because they were explaining how these vampires couldn't go into the bar.
Because they need to be like
invited in. Yeah. Right? And so like the premise stood with everybody, that got vampired. They all could not come in, and they became wise and they didn't let him in. But then with the big like fight scene, then it's like they just storm in and I'm like, wait, but how?
Yeah.
And so
you said something about that little Asian girl. Like she I'm starting to think maybe she told them to come in.
Oh, maybe because right after they immediately after they started getting ready, like they prepared.
We missed it. I don't know what it was though. Like I don't even know. We do have to go watch it again. Maybe it will turn into a 10 out of 10. I don't know. For me.
Actually, you know what? That might be it because she was right there. She was looking at them out the door. They started singing, and then she started getting really like what's the word here?
Amped up? No.
Yeah, kind of like
Revved
she was
up.
starting to get like okay, I'm ready, and so then there was like 2 seconds where like they were trying to convince her not to, and then 2 seconds later they started getting ready for them to come. So maybe that's she said something.
She was like, y'all can come in or something.
Because like what she was saying, like we're just gonna stay here. And basically wait, and the vampires ravage, I guess, the town. And really, she was worried about her daughter.
Yes, that's what it was. She was worried about her daughter. But still, like at the end, it's kind of like
at the end they lost.
They could have just waited, right?
Yeah. Well, no, because
they came in.
Well,
we're missing something, bro.
Well,
that's why it makes it a 9 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, well, if they waited, right? Would they have been the vampires have wise enough to then go actually and say like we're gonna actually kill your daughter, so that forces you to come out, because they were really only after Sammy.
Yes.
So like,
but they were like just trying to trigger because they weren't gonna give up, because Smoke didn't want to give up Sammy at all. Yeah. So maybe that's what it was. They were like just trying to, because at the end the lead vampire, he was like, I want you. And did you see that at one point they were like, you're the devil, and he was like admitting that he was, but he never said he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he was like, you're the devil, and he was like, and they were like specifically for one boy, and he was the preacher boy.
Yeah. That's true. I think that's where they they correlate that with the sinner's portion, because
all right, maybe the rating might go down for me. No, I'm kidding.
Because he was like, he knew a lot of Bible, because he's been old or whatever. And, so when the preacher goes back to, the preacher's son, Sammy, goes back to like, because he's about to die, I guess, reverts back to like what he knows, right? And so he starts reciting Bible verses, and then the lead vampire, just follows him with it, and it almost seems like there's a symbolism of like him getting like him baptizing him, like,
oh, true, right.
So it could be like, I'm baptizing you now, not by what you think, but by me, because you're gonna be part, because it seemed like it was like hive mind type of thing, like once
he bit you, like you knew everything he knew, and stuff like that. But I think you have, because remember he said, I need you, because your voice is gonna call all these people to me, like I need you to be a part of my army. So kind of to be like a siren,
Yeah.
like sirens. They would call people with their music and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So like, yeah. Because like that's what they would do. Like, I guess they were using that music, and I guess Sammy was so good that maybe his music could attract even more people. Because like when they were waiting for them outside, they started singing.
Yeah.
So it's like if they had Sammy. He's such a great musician that they could go to any town and people would be, curious and they would go to him.
Yeah.
So like I guess his dad was trying to use his good music or whatever for
Good.
and then this guy is trying to use it, for bad. So that hence the sinner portion,
Yeah. So that's why it's called Sinners.
I guess.
Oh, there is a part that I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you caught it. I want to know your interpretation of it. When they started like singing and then they had all these like musicians from like different eras show up. What'd you think about that?
Well,
I know how I interpret it.
Okay.
But like at first I was like, this is weird, but I got it afterwards. But I don't know if you understood it.
yeah, I mean, I was trying. I was like, I thought I got it at that moment, but then I thought that it would be addressed.
Yeah.
But then it just, maybe because I missed that first part where you were saying like,
yeah, so that's where I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah, because I'm like, I was expecting them to connect it at the end, like like because they were bringing past and future and stuff, and I'm like, wait, but then this never gets readdressed.
Yeah,
at least that's what I felt. But I mean, I like the idea again, but it didn't have a finality to it because, I mean, we get to see Sammy in the future, but we never get to see that powerful music like pull people back or forward or anything like that.
Well, I think what they were doing is like they were doing like, so in the beginning they talked about how like ancestors, they had like this way of doing music and how it would it would like liven up like nature and everything, and it's like it brought healing, but also it also brought evil spirits that wanted to take this power. So what they did is like they go through eras. Like they start showing up like people from like the 90s and then the future and stuff like that, and then they just go back like what what in the end interpretation that I took was his song meant that this is gonna go forward and back, from generation past to generation future. So they were just doing like a visual aid for us of what his music was attracting. That's why they did, like, if you heard the beats were in it, like they had like hip hop, they had the trap music, they had like different types of like African American music, that was brought by them, that's developed by them, from blues to jazz to like, hip hop and stuff like that. Because blues, jazz, hip hop all goes together. And then it goes to rock and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I felt like they were bringing that element in of like everything that Black culture addressed, gave. And they were like, that's how I interpret it. Like it was going forward and back.
And then the vampires, could this be metaphor for somebody else, like always trying to copy Black culture type of thing?
Well, I get what you're saying, but there is a part where he started singing in his.
Oh no!
Okay, it's all good, but at least we saw it. So there's a part where he starts singing in his accent, in his original accent, which like it's Irish or something. But I don't know if that made that kind of make sense with what was going on there. He was like his ancestors. He was like. Then they're like, I don't know how Irish people sound. Like I do my interpretation of Irish people, but
Your Irish hat.
Yeah, right. It kind of seems like because I'm wearing green. That's funny. We didn't even think about that. Like now we are. But yeah, like it just seemed like that. Like he was doing, like his accent changed when he was singing. Because first he started with a weird Southern accent, and then he started like it changed into like an Irish accent, and then it just changed back to his normal Americanized accent. I don't know. It just, for me, it brought it back kind of like the same thing. Like he sang his versions of music. Because remember when they were outside, it was 3 of them standing outside and they were singing their music, but it wasn't their music. Like it was close, but they do banjos and stuff like that. And they do like the blues guitar, with the little, I forgot what those guitars are called.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're like they have like the metal plate in the middle. If you know, I'm sorry, I'm a musician and I should know this, but I don't.
I'm not so.
But it's like, it's a normal guitar, right? But it has like that plate in the middle. It just it's used in like blues and stuff. And blues
I've seen it. Yeah.
But yeah, like you see the banjo that comes from white culture and stuff like that. So I don't know. It was probably maybe a back and forth kind of thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I do get that, but then there's other elements within there. So I'm just like, oh, I guess it's pulling back past and present for everybody that's in the bar right now, because
Yeah.
like there were like geisha looking.
Yes,
like,
you're right.
you know,
You're right.
Um,
And then the guy who was like dancing like a dragon kind of thing.
yeah,
like, he
yeah,
was doing- yeah, but
and there was
only-
also like maybe Native Americans as well.
maybe I don't know. I don't know if the Native Americans. showed up
Okay, maybe
at
not.
that point.
But
I mean, they did the African tribe. You know, they were playing like
that might
like
have been
the
Yeah.
what's it called, the animal skin, and then
Mhm.
they were like dressed in
Yeah.
a certain way. You know, the one with the mask gave me chills.
Oh,
Did that give you chills? Like that gave me chills because she was like wearing like an African thing, like,
Mhm.
and then like you saw the face, and I'm like, why did that give me chills? I don't know why that girl like scared me or freaked me out or whatever.
Like, he should have been in a scary movie type of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, like yeah, like the music, I love the music part. Like that was the fresh part of it, like music attracting vampires and stuff like that instead of it just being blood,
Right.
you know. And then they were like, oh, we need to convert you so you can be like us and we can live forever and we can do this. And remember how they were like, oh, we're a different type of people, like we want to be united. Like you remember that lady?
Yeah. So like they wanted to be a progressive cult of vampires.
Yeah, basically. And it was basically a cult because the lead guy, he was like their Jesus, because
Basically,
remember when he was dancing and everything, and he was like the only one who could river dance.
Yeah.
And then they like all came and he was like, worship me kind of
Yeah.
thing. You saw that? You remember that part?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I thought this overall, I enjoyed this movie.
good.
There was a few little things that were just questions about,
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
like why was it only? This is my question. Like, I ain't seen no Latinos in here, bro.
Oh, true.
Did I miss it? Well, what's up, Brian Coogler? Why don't you bring Namor? Right? Because he did Black Panther.
Yeah.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah.
Why don't you bring Namor, bro? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
This is for you, man. No, I'm just kidding. Now let me stop talking shit.
Well, but I mean, it's in Chicago, so I don't know how.
It
what
came
the,
from Chicago.
Oh yeah, so they're Mississippi. I don't think there was a lot of Latin American people in Mississippi. Maybe Texas,
maybe,
but
you're
Mississippi, you know, they had to cross the Mississippi River. I don't know.
Right. But what about the
Florida?
Asians?
Maybe, but you know.
What about the Asians? I guess they were there too, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Asians were. If it were like California or New York, you know, like they were still a little bit of a stretch as well.
I don't know. I want a Latino movie, Ryan Coogler. Let's do
A
it.
Latino vampire movie.
Yes, bring us on. Like, you should do this. Like, maybe.
Oh,
you
and
should
the second one.
They should be werewolves. The Latinos? Hell yeah, because we're
Yeah.
hairy. You know?
Yeah, the Indians were the Latinos.
No.
Mhm.
Yes, but no.
Well, because
Yes.
Namor, right? Namor
Yeah.
was technically.
I get it, because the Latinos are technically Native Americans.
Yeah.
We're basically Native Americans. I get where you're going, but no, because I wanted Spanish in this. I wanted Spanish music. That's what I
That's
wanted.
true. Because they did speak Chinese
they did.
and
Is it Chinese or Mandarin?
Mandarin. Oops. Yeah, Mandarin.
Or was
Well,
it?
actually, I don't know.
I was
perfectly
I was
honest,
just
I don't know.
that was a trick question because I don't even know if it was Mandarin. I just threw that. out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. To be honest, I don't know.
It could have been something else.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. That's his fault. I didn't say he did it. Cancel him.
Well, but the actor, she said like he spoke to me in Chinese, so that's why I'm saying.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you're right.
Okay.
My bad.
Or maybe I don't know.
She did. She was like, she's. Did he say Chinese or he said my language? I don't remember. We gotta go watch it again. I feel like I really want to go watch it again. I recommend this movie
For sure.
This movie was definitely a different take on vampires and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and I think on a second rewatch, we would be able to like focus in on the things and get to see if there's like more symbolism there.
Yes.
Because to be honest, like I am just a very common movie watcher, so like unless it's something super obvious, it's gonna go over my head, which maybe it did. You know, so maybe there was some symbolism here that we missed. But
I think we were in the same boat, bro. I think, and I watch movies all the time, so I think we were seeing the same thing.
Yeah. But I'm like, ooh, maybe there's more with the vampires, or more
You're
with the
right.
music, or more with the, you know, like
Yeah.
I want to connect the dots a little bit more. But you know, maybe there is nothing more there.
Maybe there's not.
Yeah, but again, so you can watch this movie, you know, if you like vampires.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like, you know, good, you know, movies with, I guess, a little bit of undertone or something like that. That it has a little bit of that too, you know. It's a little bit suspenseful, and and I mean a little bit gory too, you know. So
yeah,
like,
and it has a little bit of a gangster feel to it too.
as well,
You
yeah.
know, so if you like gangster movies, like the two brothers, they're like the most gangster that there was because they were
Mhm.
gangsters and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah,
And there's a few jokes as well, you know,
Yeah.
adult jokes, but very funny.
Yeah, very funny jokes.
Yeah.
There's some scenes that could have been cut out with like the sexual stuff. Like they didn't really need that, but
Yeah.
I get it. I get why they
Yeah.
did it. You know,
Yeah.
be like this is so passionate. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was still good though. Like the movie, I still give it a 9 out of 10. It could have been 10 out of 10. It's just there's some questions there. There's just like, should I just throw it to like Hollywood movie logic where it just doesn't matter?
Plot holes type.
Yeah, plot holes that we just don't care about and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I don't know. But overall, I think this movie was shot beautiful, yo.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing, I was just like, damn, this is gorgeous. It's like, you know, the orange tone, like, you know, the light right now. But it had like that orange tone throughout the whole thing. And I was just like, damn, I like this. Because it's like, it felt like a throwback, but it also felt like a new modern movie,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I guess because of the throwback is because of the time. And then just because of the way it was shot, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great. The music was good. It wasn't like I thought it was gonna be one of those musical movies that just get on my nerves.
Yeah.
They sing too much because even the white, you know, when the white dude was singing, the vampire, he was singing and everything. I was like, he's gonna get on my nerves. He didn't. I actually enjoyed everything he did because like when he sang, I thought it was great. That lady when she started singing, I was like, please shut up.
Yeah. The
You know, when
the
they're
lady
saying
and the guy, like the they
That guy got on my nerves. Like
Yeah. Well, because they were the least vampire, or like everybody else tried to act like themselves, but they were the ones that were like the most goofy, you know.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
they were just the awkward people out of it.
Yeah.
But overall, this movie was good. I know I keep saying that, but I think that's it, right? That's our review. I don't know how long this is. Hopefully it's not too long because I'm gonna have to edit all of it. But it's still a great movie. I think I recommend this. Go watch it. Tell me what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Again, if you spoiled it for yourself, that's my bad. But we did. If you did get spoiled, just know we did everything out of order. It's not like
Yeah.
we didn't even go like play by play. We didn't do it chronologically.
No,
we
not.
just went all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
That's my fault because I have ADHD, but I'm self-diagnosed.
Well,
He could technically diagnose me, but not really. He's not that kind of doctor.
100%, yeah, no.
He can technically, lead me to the right people, but he don't. He's not that kind of help.
Sorry.
He's a doctor, kind of. He's a nurse.
Not a nurse.
Close. Just kidding. Anyways,
Yeah, and leave your theories. If you're like, oh, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Like, this is clearly, this represents this. Then yes, let us know down there in the comments, and we will try our very best. By we, I mean,
yeah, I was about to say, I was like, this dude says we, and I'm like the one who has to respond and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna text Kev. I'm be like, yo, Kev, like,
what you think about this?
What I do here? Like,
Yeah.
how do I explain this? But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining us. This is Kevin. Hopefully he comes back. I've been trying to have a little bit of features of other people, so we'll see. And this is Kevin's idea, so we had to bring him in.
Yeah, reviews. Yeah. If you like reviews like this, or if you want to feature in them, just hit up Yo-Yo and his here.
Where are you putting right here?
Your social tags or whatever.
My social
maybe
social
not.
security?
No.
What the hell?
Like where to follow, where to contact you, or whatever. Your email.
Yeah, I'll put my email for sure.
There you go.
I could do that. I don't know why he's putting all this contact information.
Yeah. Social security number.
Yeah, social security number. Get the yes. We're about to get canceled and all that. We're gonna get deported too. Thank you guys for watching, and always remember,